live stream, March 16th. Of course, you know what that means. That means it's 316 day. Big shout out to everybody in the chat and joining us live here on another Sunday. Appreciate you guys as always. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. Hopefully, the weekend's treated you well, and that the week ahead of you will treat you even better. Of course, for those of you who are new to the stream, my name is Jose Ramos Jr. Welcome back to another edition of the J Area live stream. We talk about pro wrestling, especially given today's topic, Stone Cold Steve Austin. One of the all-time greats. We're going to give some people here an opportunity to join us in the chat. I already see P-Dubs, our friend, is in the chat already saying, can I get a hell yeah? Oh, hell yeah. Right on, buddy. Right on. Very eventful season for WrestleMania. I mean, we're literally, less than 6 weeks, I believe, was the last marker. I truthfully am losing track of the weeks at this point, especially because WrestleMania now being in the middle of April rather than, the beginning of April or late March. Typically, we have it around that time, but something different this time around. But nonetheless, hey, we're back. Another edition of J Area Live. As you can see, got my Austin t-shirt talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin, one of the all-time greats who I widely regard as maybe the greatest superstar of all time. There's always a shout out to Muhammad in the chat. I see you, my friend. How you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. There's always this discussion about who's the best wrestler, who's the best gimmick, who's the best character. I think when we talk about superstars, meaning like they're the face of the era, the standard bearer of that generation, I think Austin has to be in consideration for the best. You had your Hogans, you had your Bret Harts, John Cena's, Roman Reigns. I think Stone Cold is probably the greatest of all time when it comes to superstars. If you want to talk about in-ring accomplishments or in-ring ability, that opens the conversation to others, but I do think that Stone Cold definitely has to be up there. I see our friend Johnny in the chat as well. What's going on, Johnny? Johnny asks, what do you like about Shawn Michaels in NXT? I love the fact that Shawn Michaels is able to pass along all the knowledge, all the experience that he's acquired over the course of his 30-plus year career in professional wrestling. I love to see his influence on the younger talent. A lot of times we've seen, the selling aspect being improved in NXT, and I do think that that's a big proponent of what Shawn Michaels has been able to contribute. Excuse me, because I say contradict. I'm having a weird day, Muhammad. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, hey, I would like to say there's still plenty of day left in there. So, I mean, hey, we're glad you're here with us on the live stream. Stone Cold's iconic for a casual as well. Fact, Dan the Trackman. What's going on, Dan? I see you. Appreciate you, buddy, on this live. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's another thing too. When it comes to Stone Cold, he goes across all generations and all forms of media. Whether you're a diehard fan, a casual fan, or not, odds are you know who Stone Cold is. He's even broken into Hollywood, having some movies in that regard. Was in The Longest Yard, The Condemned, The Expendables. Stone Cold is a household name. He's been everywhere and everywhere. So, very good point here. Listen, Skyrim or Witcher 3. Hey, I'm not the one to ask. Not the one to ask, unfortunately. AJ, I hear you. I had Roman versus Ricardo. I got to get to it. I'm sorry, my friend. I'm sorry. But nonetheless, here we are, Sunday night, live stream. What's going on, Emmett? Hopefully you're doing well. Thank you for joining us, buddy. Appreciate you here on a Sunday night live stream. We're talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin on 316 day. Muhammad says, Shawn Michaels is better than Stone Cold. I mean, hey, that's, when we're talking in-ring, for sure. For sure. But I mean, again, Mount Rushmore, I think you got to put Stone Cold in there. Amory says, much love, just going around showing small creators love and kindness and respect. Appreciate that, Amory. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Just imagine Ricardo versus Roman and Ricardo wins. I really can't. I really can't. What are your thoughts on that? I think a lot of stars end their WWE careers by going into the movie business. As a fan, does that ruin a legacy? Not necessarily. I mean, you look at a guy like Austin, Cena, Rock. They've already established. I think if anything, it hurts them when they try to keep both feet in both pools. You know what I'm trying to say? where it's like you want to do both. You want to be in the wrestling business and you want to be in Hollywood. You can't do both at the same time. It's very difficult. You gotta commit to one. You see how it can take away, for example, The Rock, big Hollywood star, right? And he tries to come back ever so often in the WWE. It kind of messes up their creative plans in terms of storylines. They have to move stuff around. So I wouldn't say it hurts their legacy, but I still think you got to commit to one. If you want to take some time away, I mean, look how John Cena would do it. He would take time away and then come back. Same thing with like Randy Orton. He did it a couple of times as well. But in the long term, I don't think so. I don't think so. But thank you for the question. Appreciate that. What do I like about X Pac and the WWE? 123 kid, X Pac. I love his size, right? This is a guy who was in the land of the giants and was able to go with a bunch of superstars. His great matches against like the likes of Bret Hart, Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels as well, just to name a few. Loved his athleticism, loved his enthusiasm, and especially during his DX era, loved the character. Big fan of X Pac. Let's see. Clean. Appreciate that, AJ. Keep pushing, keep grinding, keep positive mindset, but never lose focus of your goals. Just know it. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, A. Marie. Thank you so much. What's going on? Chemdog, 1975. Still love Hulk Hogan. Everyone's entitled to their, preferences. Me, I'm not a Hogan guy, but I'm not going to fault someone who does. I get it, but not for me. It's all good, though. Do I like eating chicken? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's probably my favorite food. It's so versatile. You can do everything. Grill it, fry it, make it a sandwich. My God. You can do everything with chicken. I love it. Free Palestine. Right on. How does Jericho balance both wrestling and music? Well, that's the thing, too, because Jericho would leave every now and then. He had his commitments. He would leave and then go, touring, working on his music. To balance them out is very difficult. Is it possible? Sure. But it's very difficult. Unless if you're Superman or something. Are we going to see Stone Cold at WrestleMania this year? I think so. I think there's a really good shot that we see Austin appear. Whether it's going to be a run-in, on The Rock helping Cody or some kind of segment. There's already reports saying he's going to be in Vegas for the weekend, make a couple of appearances. And hey, if you're going to be in town, why not make it to the big show, right? What about Sin Cara? Nothing against Sin Cara, but it wasn't for me. I love him now as Mystico. He's killing it in Mexico and still continuing on, his career there. It just never clicked. The transition to the WWE style of wrestling wasn't there. I admire Triple H for being ambitious and signing him to the WWE. Ultimately, it didn't work out. Wish it could have, but it's doing just fine for him right now. Dan the Man agrees. Should have been next. I would have loved it. But right now, dude, Penta, Rey Fenix, Dragon Lee. If you're looking for lucha libre and masked superstars in the WWE, Dragon Lee, Penta, Rey Fenix. Those are the guys. Also, if you raise chickens, free eggs. True. Not wrong. What do you think about Big Cash in WWE? You talking about Big Cass? Like Colin Cassidy, who teamed with Enzo Amore? I like them as a tag team, Enzo and Cass. Aside from that, though, once they broke up, it wasn't about me. It wasn't for me, I should say. I was raised on Lucha Libre. Right on, Corbin. Right on. Love Lucha Libre. That style of pro wrestling definitely got me going as well. Seeing the likes of Rey Mysterio, Super Crazy, Psychosis, Eddie Guerrero, Juventud Guerrera. I can go on, right? Long list of legends in that regard of pro wrestling, so for sure. That FNAF girl, hello. What's going on? Love FNAF, love the movie. Getting into the games, appreciate that. What's your favorite type of wrestler? I think high flyers are just exciting. Dan the Trackman, I like high flyers. I grew up on them. Obviously, Ray and Eddie Guerrero, two of my all-time favorites. I'm much more of like a technician. Guys like a Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. Appreciate the hearts in the chat. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, CM Punk, guys like that who are so versatile. They can go with anybody, whether big or small. They work the submissions. At times, they can go high fly, but they're more mat-based. Kurt Angle, another guy that I'm a big fan of. But Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, for sure. For high flyers, can't beat them. Can't beat them. Love it. My top 3 wrestlers, for people who know and have been a part of the streams, you guys know, number 3, Eddie Guerrero. Number 2, CM Punk. And number 1, Shawn Michaels. Anything with those guys, I'm all in. Buck says, let's talk about John. Ooh, what do you want to talk about? I mean, John Cena, one of the all-time greats, and looking at him and seeing this heel turn should be special for Raw on Monday. Should be very special, very intriguing to see what he says in his first promo as a heel, in 20 plus years. Will the Hardy Boys appear in NXT more? I think so. They had their match with Fraxium and obviously the TNA partnership with NXT. I can't see them not appearing. I think eventually we're going to see them on the main roster and go with the big names. I'd love to see it. Johnny says, I like when Stone Cold drinks beer. It's his gimmick, right? It's his slogan. He's, the Texas Rattlesnake. Drink a couple of Steve Weisers there on the job, beat up the boss. Who doesn't love it? It is John Cena's last year in the WWE. It is. He's going to be doing his final farewell tour, wrapping it up at the end of 2025, and he'll call it a career and go full-time Hollywood. Don't knock him. I think it's great that he's doing the farewell tour and giving fans everywhere an opportunity to see him one last time. With the Royal Rumble, the Chamber, Mania, Money in the Bank, giving all the longtime viewers an opportunity to see him compete live. Very special. Very similar to how like Kobe Bryant had his farewell tour in 2016 when he was retiring in the NBA. I'm very much looking forward to it. John Cena, definitely one of those key figures for me growing up. I grew up a big fan from like the early 2000s as a little kid, and then obviously seeing guys like John Cena, Batista rise to the ranks. So I hold those guys in very high regard. Nothing but respect, says Buck. Of course, thank you so much. Whether it was for me or John Cena, either way, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Joey has a question about Cena's retirement. Shoot. Go for it, buddy. Speaking of Stone Cold, I heard he wasn't interested in wrestling with Kevin Owens. Thank you for the hearts in the chat, by the way. I know somewhere along the lines he always wanted that match with Punk, and they hinted at it in 2013 during the WWE 13 title video game release. Tijuana Tacos in the chat. What's going on, my friend? Appreciate that. But I do think that him talking about Kevin Owens and the way that whole story unfolded and the matchup of WrestleMania 38, I thought it was done well. We weren't expecting too much, so I love it. Big fan of it. LFG, whatever it's called. Man, dethroned by Eli, I know, dude. But it's like I said, I don't have access to A&E. I have to go through it on Hulu or other channels, but I've been catching up with the clips. And I know Punk was either on last week's or he's on today. Somewhere Punk is on. I want to watch it. Punk's my guy. I like what they're doing with LFG. We'll try to catch up on it though. I know I'm missing out. I guess tomorrow Monday night, Raw, Cody's going to face to face with Cena. It should be interesting, man. Seeing Cody and Cena at this level, it's never been done before. We know these two have history during their times as Legacy versus John Cena back in like 09. Obviously, we know about Stardust. He had a U.S. title match against John Cena in 2015. We haven't seen him on this level. So to see what's going to happen, man, I can't wait. Can't wait to get these two one-on-one. Odds are I don't think Cena's going to be alone. Maybe Travis Scott. I don't know. But the fact is, Cena, Cody, face-to-face, I'm all for it. Repo Man, underrated gimmick. Had a great moment there at the Gimmick Battle Royal, WrestleMania 17. And might go in the Hall of Fame as a member of Demolition, actually. WrestleMania 25. Great WrestleMania. Shawn versus Taker. Austin went in the Hall of Fame. Shout out to Emmett Kroll. Hi, how you doing? My predictions for Raw tomorrow. I think Penta gets the win in the No Holds Barred match. I'd like to see how Cody and Cena are going to go up against each other. That'll be fun as well. Monday Night Raw is going to be from Belgium. So hopefully for a hot crowd. We saw this past Friday. Barcelona had a great showing. I love when we get these international crowds involved. A lot to look forward to. Certainly. Balor versus Braun Breaker. I think Braun Breaker's going to retain. Maybe some kind of interference. Dominic and Finn kind of butting heads now. But we'll see. A new superstar joining The Rock. Oh, man. I don't know. I think they might keep it at the 3. That's a powerhouse already with The Rock and Travis Scott and John Cena. But I wouldn't put it past them. If you ask me right now, I'm going to say no, but you never know. What do I like about the Street Profits? Love the vibe. Montez Ford is a star in the making. I think they could have went solo with him a while ago, but they didn't. It's fine. I love Angelo Dawkins and him together. I think they're a great tag team. They bring the energy, they bring the vibe, the in-ring moves. Fantastic. Fan of the Street Profits. Glad they finally won the tag titles after what, 4 years maybe without them. It's awesome. Natural disasters of the Headbangers. If you had to twist my arm here, I'm probably gonna go Headbangers. Liam Plays, what's going on? I'm doing well. How are you doing, buddy? Hopefully you're doing okay. Appreciate you. You're on the live stream. Dethroned by Eli says, hopefully Cena's original heel plans are going to happen. New music and singlet. I think so. I think we're going to get new gear, new music, new attitude. Everything about Cena is going to be different. And it has to happen tomorrow, right? It has to happen on Raw. I don't see him coming out to the same music. He's going to have a new attitude. But I mean, man, it's going to be different. Something's going to be different. Why did Cena turn his back on Cody after one of the Elimination Chambers and join the Rock side? Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, Joey, John Cena's at this point in his career where he's desperate. He's going to want to win that WWE Championship, and recognizing that he hasn't won a singles matchup on a PLE in years, I mean, since like 2018, desperation kicks in, man. And when you want to break that record, you want to get to 17 title reigns, you're going to do whatever you can. Final Boss gave Cody an opportunity. I think he knew Cody wasn't going to take it, so who's the next best option? John Cena. And they have history, having matches at WrestleMania 28 and 29. So they have that level of respect for one another and recognize game. It makes sense to me. Plus, they have Hollywood ties. It makes sense for him to do it. We're not happy about it, but hey, I think Cody has a big task ahead of him against John Cena. Doesn't go down easy. Punk, Orton, and Cody called out with Cena, and the reason why Cena turned heel is because they know he doesn't have that much time left. Yeah, I mean, from a business standpoint, it's like one last stone to turn. He's at the end of his career. What a better way to shock fans than to have Cena as a heel and really dive in on this story. I like the idea of it. I'm glad they did it. It adds a level of interest and shock value on the lead to WrestleMania. So I think it was a great call. Johnny says your Niners trade a lot of people. I mean, we traded people. We didn't resign people. We let people go. We let people walk. Niners right now are in a transitional phase here. We lost a few playoff games, and we're looking to retool the team and see how we can get back to the Super Bowl. Hopefully, it works out in the end. We got to sign Brock Purdy to a contract. Trent Williams, George Kittle, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, even McCaffrey and Juszczyk, all returning. So we have our core group of guys. We just got to surround them and build a team. Heard rumors about the Money in the Bank in LA and Survivor Series in San Diego. Swing by and we'll drive there. Dude, I would love to. I would love to go to a SummerSlam or a Survivor Series. Or sorry, Money in the Bank or the Survivor Series. But that's cool, having them out on the West Coast. I love the international crowds, but yeah. Imagine Cena heel turn was a... Imagine Cena's heel turn was a swerve. Well, to be fair, it kind of was a swerve, right? People weren't expecting it, or some people will say they expected it, but kind of was a swerve. If you're saying it's like a double cross on the cross and he's, double crossing Rock, I think it's too convoluted. I think if anything, Cena gets that desperation, and then later in the year, maybe in the summer, he turns back into a baby face, but nah. You want some weed? It's like, I'm good. Appreciate that. I don't think the Golden State Warriors are. You're going to catch up in the Houston Rockets. Does Houston's... We're on a 7-game winning streak. Houston Rockets out by Philadelphia tomorrow. Yeah, Houston, who else is ahead of us? LA is still ahead of us. Memphis is ahead of us. Denver's ahead of us. But the Warriors are on a good hot streak here. It says everybody ahead of us is winning. Lakers are beginning to fall. Maybe we can jump over them and get that 5th seed. But I like where we're at with the Warriors. Ever since that Jimmy Butler trade, we've been able to regain a level of momentum here. Steph is looking good. Draymond's looking good. And we've only lost, I think 1 game with him on the court. 2 games since he's been traded to us. I like our odds. I think there's a shot we can get to the 4th seed. To the 4th seed heading into the playoffs. Right now, we're on a good streak. I like where my Warriors are at. And just watch out, man. Just watch out. You don't know. You'll never know. We'll see. Warriors are looking good. My Giants are looking good. I know it's just, spring training, but still, Niners are kind of shaky. Joey says, my daughter has been a fan of Colors for a very long time and she cried. Okay, we missed it. We'll see if we can get him back. Who hates The Rock so much? I don't hate The Rock. Cheers from Canada. Hey, Jeremy, what's going on, my friend? Glad you're back. Thank you so much. Our friends up north making another appearance here on a live stream. Can't thank you enough. We're talking Stone Cold Steve Austin on 3/16 day. Depending where you are at in the world, it might already be the 17th, but hey, better late than never. Stone Cold Steve Austin, one of the all-time greats. My brother and I threw on a match of his. We watched WrestleMania 15 and 17, him against The Rock, back-to-back feature. What place are the Rockets right now in the playoffs? Last time I checked, I think they were like the third or fourth. I think they might be the fourth actually, because I think third is Denver. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the third is Denver, fourth is the Rockets, fifth is the Lakers, and then we're sixth, if I'm not mistaken. It might have changed depending on the outcomes of today's games, though. I haven't seen the final scores. What do you think of the Lakers versus Nuggets in the WWE back in 2009? It was interesting. Obviously they had that whole fiasco with the Staples Center and then the Nuggets Arena where they didn't know they were going to be playing in the playoffs, so they had to change arenas, and they did that whole team of baby faces, which was the Lakers versus the heels that were the Nuggets. So that was interesting. A little bit of realism in the wrestling, so that was cool. Johnny, I you know what? I'm not gonna say I don't like it. I'm just not a fan. I can see why people enjoy Family Guy, but I never grew interested into it. Not for me. Not for me. But again, like for people who are fans, go off. But for me, I was never into it. My daughter has been upset over and over again because of her favorite superstar Cody has been attacked by Cena. And that was the crazy thing about it, right? It's for the kids. Because us growing up, we wanted to see heel Cena, and now we finally got a heel Cena. But to see it during this generation, kids are growing up fans of Cody, fans of Cena, and so to see that level of betrayal between the two, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Johnny, do you like cartoons, Beavis and Butthead? Wasn't a fan of it either. Never really watched it. It's not for me. I don't really watch like the Adult Swim kind of stuff. Just wasn't for me. Wasn't the same match that Kennedy unintentionally injured Randy. It might have been, honestly. 2009. Yeah, I think you might be right, Muhammad. I think you might be right. Odyssey, what's going on? Thanks for coming back. Another stream. Thank you so much. Jeremy says, my son gave me a Father's Day last year a 4 set of Stone Cold beer. Pint glasses. Each one is different. Oh, that's cool. Hey, that's awesome. Anything like that I think is awesome, where it's like a level of uniqueness to it, especially for like a pint glass, and they're unique to each one. That's cool. John Cena may come back bald. I don't think so, Odyssey. There's been pictures going around. I don't know if he was like on set of a movie or was doing some kind of press tour or whatever, but he looks like he did something to the back of his head. Like I don't know whether they sprayed it on, whether they added some kind of Turkish transplant to it, but it looks like he's trying to cover up that bald spot. And I don't know. I don't think he's gonna come back bald. Did Golden State Warriors going to play Nuggets tomorrow? I don't know if that's the next game or the game following that. I know we have them coming up. Um, I don't know. I have to look that up. I don't know if it's the next game or the following game. San Fran probably has the answer for me on that as to who we face next. We just had a good win against New York. Solid win against them, back and forth. That last quarter was intense. San Fran confirms, yeah, we face them tomorrow. I thought so. I wasn't sure if it was the next game or the following game. San Fran with the instant access. There's 7 o'clock. Oh, you better believe we're gonna be. Is that on TV? Talk to me, San Fran. Do we get access to that game? Is it a national televised game? It should be. Nuggets Warriors. I mean, that's your champions. In the past few years. because Raw tomorrow is going to be noon our time, midday, which is crazy that we're getting that during this. Yeah, it's on TV. You better believe we're going to be watching that. Go Warriors. Cena should not come back bald. If he does, we're going to see another version of The Rock. I don't think so. I don't know how it's going to be ESPN. Awesome. I don't know how it's going to affect The Rock if John Cena's bald. I don't see how his hair affects The Rock. The Rock has been bald for years, but he's not coming back bald. He's not coming back bald. He's going to come back with his hair. If he comes back bald, I'd be shocked, truthfully. Odyssey says, I seen the image. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what he did, whether he spray painted, combed it a certain way. I don't know, but it looked like he's covering up the spot. How do you like Butler on the team? I love it. I was very hesitant, as if I got to say, as a general manager, because Jimmy Butler, his recent teams, Miami, Philadelphia, Minnesota, kind of an iffy end towards his tenure during each of those teams. I didn't know what to expect, but him coming onto a team of veterans of like, let's say Cena, of Curry and Draymond, really boosted up their energy. Love what he brings in terms of defense, rebounding. He had a triple double not too long ago, and he's really energized this young core of the Warriors. I think it was a great pickup there. Finally, our GM Dunleavy does something well in terms of the trade value. So big fan. Love it. Love it. My uncle gave me a party set of tag teams: Demolition, the Road Warriors, the Bushwhackers, and the Moon. That's cool. That's awesome. Shout out to your uncle. Odyssey says until he starts sweating. Can you imagine if he starts to sweat and you start seeing it fall off? And oh my god, imagine. Joey says, hey bro, my daughter loves you as a YouTuber. She's known you since she has known your YouTube channel, and you've always talked about WWE, and you make her happy, make her day bright. Well, I appreciate that, Joey. Thank you so much. And if she's watching, tell her I said hello. Hopefully she's doing well. Thank you for the support. And we're just trying to create a community here of wrestling fans, regardless of the age, gender, background. Doesn't matter. We've been so fortunate enough to have awesome people join the live streams, join the comment section. Very positive, very supportive, and very little pushback in terms of negative comments, I will say. So I'm happy she's enjoying it and continuing to support it. Thank you guys so much. Can't thank you guys enough, but thank you. That really makes my day. Letting me know there's people out there who are as invested makes me want to do better. So thank you. Austin Theory needs a push. I can see him getting turned. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Austin Theory needs to break away from Grayson Waller. I have nothing against them as a tag team, but I think that story's over. We've already done so much with them. They already won the tag titles. I think Theory has a lot of potential as a babyface, so I can't wait. But I agree with you. He's a star. He has the potential, man. Let him break away. Sadly, I broke 6 out of the 8. Oh my God, that's terrible. That's practically all of them. Which were the ones that survived? I'm curious. Only 2 made it. Johnny says, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. We got someone from the Chargers. Yeah, you had Joey Bosa. That's who we wanted. We wanted to get Joey Bosa. Didn't sign with us. It's what it is. His decision. It would have been awesome to, put him next to Nick Bosa. But Bills are looking good. I'm a fan of Josh Allen. Sean McDermott, I think, is a good coach. I know this past playoffs, I was rooting for the Bills. I wanted them to win the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, they didn't get to do that. But we'll see. Maybe next year. Joey says she says hello back. She loves you and she always will. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All love. All love. All love here. Dominic Mysterio is about to make... Oh my God. Yeah, I hope so. Again, Dominic's another guy. When it comes to the Judgment Day, they've already done so much with the Judgment Day. I love Finn. Love Dominic. JD. All of them. I love all of them. Maybe not Raquel, but that's neither here nor there. But Dominic, man, he's going to look good. When he breaks away, he has a shot. I still think he's going to win the world title one day. I can see it. Bills over Chiefs, 100%. Bills over Chiefs. Bills got robbed, as they usually do. Johnny doesn't like Mysterio. I do. I think he's awesome. Judgment Day is boring. They are starting to. I mean, not even starting. They've been losing steam ever since Rhea and Damian separated themselves. It's been losing steam. That's why I'm saying I think we're done with them. I think we've done all we could. Let's start breaking them up. Have Finn go off into the main event scene. Have Dominic go for the IC title. I think that's what's best. Start letting these guys grow as individuals. When Edge was there was awesome. I agree. That early incarnation of Edge, Rhea, and Damian was awesome. I like the stuff with the Terror Twins, Dominic, Finn, JD, and then there's R-Truth. I thought that was awesome too. Once we lost Rhea and Damian to the group, that's when I think it started to decline in terms of quality. Cena on used to be a good guy, and now he sounds like he's a bad guy. Now he is a bad guy. He's a heel. Turned on Cody Rhodes, the top dog in WWE. He's a bad guy. Judgment Day was awesome and respectful because they had people that looked like they could kick. Yeah, the group had no intimidating. Yeah, right now, I mean, who's the most intimidating? I would say Finn, but even Finn, the way he's been booked, is not intimidating. He hasn't really beaten anybody. Finn Balor used to be a great star in NXT, decent run on the main roster, but it's not like it's. I agree. I agree with you. Wrestling's fake, right? Expert analysis there by Johnson. A lot of shows on TV are fake as well. There's scripts and cameras, and last time I checked, Spider-Man's not out there fighting a guy with tentacles for arms. But hey, glad you figured it out, my friend. Appreciate that so much. Bush from the Bushwhackers and Axe from Demolition. My uncle gave me these glasses in '85 for my 10th birthday and to survive. Damn. Of all the ones to survive, right? Butch and Axe made the cut. Carlito. Love Carlito. I think he's awesome. Entertaining. But again, not intimidating. Entertaining and intimidating. Two different things. My daughter said the Judgment Days with Raquel Rodriguez visited during COVID back in 2021. Oh, wow. Awesome. And that, I think, that might have been when she was in NXT, I think. If it was 2021. Maybe I'm wrong. I think she was still in NXT, so a young Raquel Rodriguez there. That's cool. I know I said she wasn't my cup of tea. That's fine. But still, regardless, to see someone in the business is pretty cool. Especially someone who's been on TV. So shout out to your daughter there. Cringe is back. Is John Cena retired from the Rumble? Yeah, John Cena's not going to be in the Royal Rumble no more. He's done. Still has the rest of the year to compete, but don't expect him to be in the Rumble moving forward. Maybe as a one-off, but I doubt it. Roman Reigns will be on Friday Night SmackDown this Friday coming up. It's about time. We got to see some developments in that story regarding Punk, Rollins, and Roman. Glad we're able to see some main stars coming out for the road to WrestleMania for sure. Odyssey says, I think the Bloodline may back Cena and The Rock. Are we like the Tamatanga and Tangaloa, Jacob Fatu bloodline? Because, I don't think it's Roman and the boys. But I think you could be right. I think you might be onto something. Yeah. That'd be interesting. For sure. There's a script and prop item. Come on now. Like any other show. The bootleg bloodline facts. Yeah, no, the bootleg bloodline. There's a wrestler, the Bush Brothers. What do you like about on WWE? The Bush Brothers? I might not be, help me out there. I might not be familiar with the Bush Brothers. Cena versus Rose, who do I have? That's a tough one. I feel like it's a toss up. My answer could change in the next month. It just depends how they interact with one another, how the promos are delivered, what's the build going to look like. As of right now, though, my answer could change. But as of right now, I think I'm going Cody. I think I'm going Cody because I don't think Cena wins the title this early on. I think we're still going to get a level of desperation going into the summer. I look at John Cena. He lost the Rumble. He won the Chamber. Now gets an opportunity. I think Cody beats him, and then Cena maybe goes down and wins Money in the Bank, and still being that heel character, cashes in on like a Jey Uso, because he had won the Royal Rumble, tossing out Cena. Maybe there's a story there. I think he loses at Mania and wins it later, like in the summer, because I think we can still add some anticipation, some drama to him getting number 17. I don't think they're gonna give it to us that soon. That's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Cena or Cody at WrestleMania? Let me know in the chat. Her mom worked at Leander High School, and she used to always come visit her mom and surprise. Oh, it's cool. Awesome. Bushwhackers you're thinking of? Maybe. He said Bush Brothers. Maybe it is the Bushwhackers. If it was the Bushwhackers, I mean, they're cool. Again, not for me. They were a comedy act. They were a heel New Zealand tag team outside of the WWF. That I think is very interesting. But what they did in WWE, it's fine. Who's in the WWE Hall of Fame this year? Right now, so far, it's Triple H and Lex Luger and Michelle McCool. Those are the three in there. Don't know if we're going to get another one. I would suspect we're going to get another one, especially because there's like a month left until the Hall of Fame. So I'm thinking we're going to add a tag team, and my bet's Demolition. I think Demolition makes it as one final Hall of Famer. You guys already know. If we're doing the celebrity Hall of Famers, I think you got to put Cyndi Lauper. If you guys are familiar with the stream, familiar with the content that we produce here, big advocate for Cyndi Lauper in the Hall of Fame. Huge as it regards to the rock and wrestling connection back in the 80s and bringing them to MTV and mainstream media. So I think she should be in there. What do I like about Lex Luger? I admire his story. Lex Luger was in a very dark place in the 2000s, late 90s as well, with his substance abuse. But to see how he's been dealing with his physical limitations, the work he's been putting in with Diamond Dallas Page, very admirable, very courageous. I look forward to hearing his speech at the Hall of Fame and him unraveling his story, essentially, talking about the ups, talking about the downs, taking his rightful spot in the Hall of Fame. I think I like more of his behind the scenes more than the wrestling stuff. Don't get me wrong, great wrestler, had the look, had the ability, but the man, I really want to see what that Hall of Fame speech is going to be like. Thank you for that, Johnny. We need more tag teams, too many big stars. I agree with you. Growing up in the Ruthless Aggression era, we had a lot of great tag teams. It was loaded with talent, a lot of diversity, a lot of parity, a lot of competition. I love tag team wrestling. And SmackDown's looking better. They're showing a level of focus there, so that's cool. But I agree with you. We need Cody to win. I'm all Cody, man. That's my guy. QB1. Drew Damien says Roman Punk Owens, Orton Finn, Broncos, Jay and Cody. Yeah, a lot of big stars. A lot of guys are getting lost in the mix, or risking. They're risking getting lost in the mix for sure. That's what we need a lot of tag teams. Pretty Deadly. I like Pretty Deadly's advancement in the tag team division. They're getting now some focus there, getting a level of attention. I think they got to get more opportunities in the ring, though. Let those guys have an opportunity to showcase their talents. They are former UK tag team champions. Let them show their levels of skills in the ring every now and then. They're very much in like the comedy realm of WWE, but I would like to see them compete more. What I like about Sheamus and Ridge Holland, I mean, Sheamus is a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's one of the best, like Hall of Famer for sure. Want to see him win the Intercontinental Championship. Ridge Holland, I think turning heel was the best thing for him. Aside from that, I thought he had decent matches with Trick Williams. His stuff in NXT has been an improvement. I don't see him being there for too long, though. Drew definitely needs a push. I'm hoping he beats Damian at Mania. Who would you rather have a bar fight? You walk into a bar in Minnesota and you have to fight either Ken Patera, Dino Bravo, or Don Maronco. I think I'm losing all of them, Jeremy, to tell you the truth. Who would you rather have a bar fight? Yeah, I'm losing all of them. If I had to pick one, though, I'd like to think, Jesus, I'm losing all of them, dude. Jeremy, you made it tough on me. I'm gonna go Don Morocco because I think I can maybe make him laugh, get him in a good mood. Remember when Randy Orton returned to the Elimination Chamber when Sammy went against? Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Big return, big pop, set the stage for Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. They're probably gonna fight at WrestleMania. I'm thinking some kind of stipulation, street fight, no DQ, something like that. Hey Dion, what's going on? Aleister Black debuts after Mania. Ray Phoenix in the next couple of weeks. I think Ray Phoenix definitely comes in. He's probably going to interact with Penta, have a tag team match of sorts with Kaiser and Pete Dunne. Love that idea. Aleister Black, super excited for. I've always been a fan of Black ever since he made a jump to NXT. Can't wait. Sheamus needs a real push. I don't know, Odyssey. Because he's already won the world championship several times over. He's done everything in his career. I would like to see him get another run at the title, though. Like, start competing against the likes of Cody and Gunther. Him against Gunther for the world title would be fantastic. Odyssey says he needs that world championship. I disagree. I think he needs the IC title more. He's already won that world title enough. Maybe have a match for it for sure. But I would love to see him win the IC title, completing the Grand Slam. What do I like about Pete Dunne and R-Truth? Pete Dunne, I love his realism and his wrestling. Ever since coming to NXT UK, I always liked his style. That British strong style is very entertaining. I think R-Truth, one of the funniest wrestlers of all time, and doesn't get enough recognition for what he did in TNA as a former, NWA champion, tag team champion, Ronda the Truth Killings, Hall of Famer for sure. Big fan of R-Truth. How long has Cody been the champion? Cody won the title at last year's WrestleMania, which was like April 6th. So by the time we get to WrestleMania 41, he would have been the champion for 1 year and like 2 weeks. So, yeah, a little over a year. Sheamus and Drew need to team up. Damian, Priest, and Penta tag. Would love to see Sheamus and Drew as a tag team again. The only thing is they're on the opposite spectrum. One's a heel, one's a babyface. Don't think they'll get back together for now. Have a question? Go for it. Sheamus is too tenured. He needs to be put back in. He needs to be put back in the world title scene. But again, I think the priority should be the IC title for sure. Why, when I wear my favorite red bandanas and I go to Chicago, I get jumped? This keeps happening. Listen, I don't know if I'm the most qualified to tell you why that happens. I miss Edge and Sheamus came in up together. I liked Edge more in the WWE. His stuff as Cope in AEW is what it is. He's starting to lose his luster. I'm a fan of Cope, but his run in the WWE right now, his run in the AEW, kind of hit or miss, honestly. Gonna have a match against Moxley for the AEW World Title next week, so hopefully that'll be something. Which superstars is a babyface? Well, I mean, your top babyfaces are guys like Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso. Those are like your real top. Sami Zayn's another one. Randy Orton. Those are your baby faces. Those are your good guys. Rey Mysterio, always been a good guy. But yeah. World champion status. Icy will do nothing for his legacy. He's good on the mic as well. Yeah, no, I agree. He is world champion status, but he's already won it. I feel like if he wins the world title, it doesn't do anything for him. I actually kind of disagree with you on that. I think world championship doesn't do anything for him. The IC title is literally the last thing he has to do. He's accomplished everything. Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, King of the Ring, world title, US title, tag team title. He's done it all. That IC title is the last thing he needs. Not that he needs it. He's already a made man. He's already a legend. He's already a Hall of Famer. But it would be nice to see him finally mark that final check mark. What was my best match in WWE? My favorite match in the WWE, probably Shawn and The Undertaker, WrestleMania 25/26. I lumped those two together as a double feature. Those are my favorites. He's been out of the scene too long and now a fresh face. I agree. I would have loved to see him face Gunther for the world title. They didn't go that route. I don't think Gunther's going to beat Jey Uso. Maybe he does. But, yeah. I think he should get one more run for the title. I don't think he wins it anymore, though. But I would love to see him back in the main event scene, challenging for the championship, and then eventually winning that IC title. What do you like about Diesel and Paul Walker? That's two completely different people, but hey, appreciate the question. Diesel, I respect him for his knowledge of the business side. You want to make money? Diesel was your guy. He knew how to do it. Paul Walker, I think he's the face of the Fast and the Furious franchise. Those are his movies. That's his story. It's sad what happened to him and how he passed away. It was tragic, but yeah, it's those are his movies. For me, Fast and the Furious ended at 7. Once we lost him, it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. Thank you for the question, though. That belt's for newcomers. It's a stepping stone. It's a stepping because look at Jey Uso. Jey Uso was the champion and he was a newcomer. It's a stepping stone to get to the world title scene. So I wouldn't say that completely. You walk into a bar, Toronto. Who would you sit beside and have a beer with? Bret Hart, Perfect, or Ravishing Rick Rude? Hate to break it to you, Jeremy. Excuse me. I don't partake in the alcohol, but I would love to pick Bret Hart's brain. Absolutely, I would love to pick Bret Hart's brain. Ask him the psychology, his experience in pro wrestling. I would definitely love to see that. Uh, any chance? Any chance you've seen Cena as the Intercontinental Champion? There is a chance, but I don't think they do it. I think they're going to keep him trying to go after number 17. There is a chance, though. Sheamus winning, that is a downgrade. It's your opinion. It's fine. Vin Diesel. It's not Vin Diesel's franchise. It's Paul Walker's. LA Knight needs a world champion push. That I completely agree on. He's the U.S. champion right now. This is his second title reign. Once he's done with this, move him up to the main event scene. Completely agree with you. Put him in the main event scene. It's a shame how the whole thing went down. I agree. My daughter has a question to ask you. Please feel free to ask. Go right ahead. Jey Uso was new to the singles run. Very true. Is there such a Toby Keith died? Did Toby Keith die? I'm not familiar. I mean, I've heard of Toby Keith, but I'm not going to pretend like I'm an expert. So, someone in the chat let us know and update us there. Jey Uso never had a singles title, so it made sense. Fair. That's fair. But I still don't think Sheamus needs that world title. That sucks that Toby Keith passed away. Odyssey says Cap. Ireland. Shout out to Ireland in the chat. They produce great fighters. I'll give them that. Top 5 movies. Oh man. Okay, so for that, this is probably in my preference. I'm not saying they're the greatest of all time, but my top 5 favorite movies. I'm very partial to Spider-Man. That's my guy. Spider-Man No Way Home. This is in no particular order. These are my 5. Spider-Man No Way Home, just because of the culmination of having all 3 of them together. The original Rocky, number 1, for sure. Scream, the first one. I like to do different genres, by the way. So you'll see that I have like different genres. The original Scream, the original Rocky, Spider-Man No Way Home, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and then the 5th one, again, in no particular order, The Dark Knight, Heath Ledger's Joker. Those are my top 5. Again, no particular order, just the first 5 that come to the top of my head. Aleister Black should come back. I think he will, Odyssey. I think that that vignette on Friday where they had the candle being blown out in the number 4, I think that was him. The question really is it going to be before Mania or after Mania? That's the question that we're left with. But I do think Aleister Black is on his way back, and I'm excited. Big fan of Aleister Black. His run on the main roster wasn't that great, so Wasn't Judgment Day WWE pay? Yeah, it was a WWE pay per view. In fact, we attended Judgment Day 2006. Awesome show there. But yeah, it ran from like 2000 to what was the last one? 2009 maybe. My daughter got her best friend a gold chain. Do you think she'll like it? I mean, hey, I think if it's from a friend and it has that meaning and it's from a friend, I think anybody will like it. My friend could give me something basic, and because it's my friend, I'll appreciate it. So she'll probably like it. I didn't see that tomorrow. Probably, I don't know. Maybe tomorrow. I just feel like you can't debut after one vignette. I feel like we're gonna see a couple vignettes. Maybe the number it was a number 4. So it's like, what does that 4 mean? Does it mean 4 weeks? I don't know. I don't think they come back on Monday though. I think Pen. I'm sorry. I think Phoenix comes out before Aleister Black. Nikki Cross. I really like her run Insanity. I really liked her run Insanity. You know, having that crazed look. I love the storyline when she saw the attack in NXT, the parking lot, and it was Johnny Gargano who attacked Aleister Black. Shout out to Aleister Black. That crazed look in her eyes. I think she's great. Hurricane Hell. I love Hurricane. He took a fun gimmick, made it his own, made championship aspirations out of it. That's awesome. Molly Holly. Dude, I love Molly Holly's dedication to the craft. This girl shaved her head on WrestleMania 20 just to get on the card. Just to have a match at WrestleMania. Had a hair versus championship match. Shout out to Molly Holly, Hall of Famer. Vignette. When was this? On SmackDown. This past episode of SmackDown, there was a vignette that played prior to the main event. Prior to the tag team main event, it was like a dark background, and then like a candle was blown out, and the smoke that came out of the candle formed into a number 4. Because that was played before the tag team main event, and the Rey Fenix vignette was played before the Damian Priest matchup. What do you like about Undertaker's wife in wrestling? Michelle McCool. Her stuff in Late Cool I thought was entertaining. Her and Layla I thought were a fun act. They were heavily inspired, or at least you would think heavily inspired by the beautiful people in TNA. But athletically gifted for sure. Was one of the best of her era, that Divas era. Give Michelle McCool her props. She's a Hall of Famer now. So, but I thought her stuff with Layla was very entertaining. How many times has Cody Rhodes debuted in WWE? I mean, he debuted in 2007, left in 2015, and came back in 2022. Did you like Dolph Ziggler teaming up with AJ Lee back in the day? I thought it made sense. 2 solid heels at that time. They could both work. I thought the stuff with Cena was weird. AJ Lee and John Cena, like they shared a kiss and stuff. I thought that was kind of weird. But the Ziggler, AJ Lee, and Biggie Langston trio, I liked it. I'm a fan of all 3. Oh, it's Rey Fenix. Yeah, there were 2 separate vignettes. There was one for Rey Fenix and then one for who I think would be Aleister Black. But there were 2 vignettes. Dethroned by Eli. Is the Bloodline stuff over? Dude, not even close. Paul Heyman said they were in the 3rd inning and a few months back. Is the game over? Dude, at this point, I think the game is probably like in the 5th or 6th inning. This game isn't even close. I think the end game is Rock and Roman. And that's the end game. Boston Crab, Figure 4, Cobra, Lock, or Full Nelson. Which one could you break out of? I think my best one would probably be the Boston Crab. Figure 4 leg lock, that's a dangerous move. I'm not breaking out of that. The Cobra, doubtful. Full Nelson, if it's Bobby Lashley, I ain't breaking that at all. Boston Crab might be my best bet, and even then, that's not pretty good. Do you think anybody's going to join Roman Reigns in his bloodline? I think we're taking a break from that bloodline. If we do see someone join up, maybe someone like Zoa. I know he's interested in joining Roman. But aside from that, I don't think so. Have to go. Talk tomorrow. My daughter says she loves you. Have a good night. Thank you so much for joining us, Joey. Appreciate that. Tell your daughter I said good night. And we'll hope to see you tomorrow on Monday's live stream. Take care, buddy. But yeah, joining Roman's bloodline, I don't see anybody else joining it, Troy. So you had mentioned that you went to Judgment Day '06. Which matches did you enjoy and which matches did you not enjoy? Um, I enjoy I enjoyed the main event, Rey Mysterio versus JBL. I hated JBL. He's a great heel. Hated JBL. Big Rey Mysterio fan. I enjoyed the Booker T versus Bobby Lashley King of the Ring final. That was good. Um, a match I didn't enjoy, Khali. The Great Khali had defeated The Undertaker. I remember we had made a sign that was like a tombstone, and it was like the Great Khali, rest in peace, and he beat The Undertaker. That sucked. I'm a big Undertaker fan, obviously. If you guys know San Fran, that's his favorite, The Undertaker. Jillian versus Melina, that was like a blink and you miss it type of matchup. But the best matches for me, I thought, were Ray versus JBL, Booker T versus Bobby Lashley. Do you think? Do you still like Paul Heyman when it is 58 years old? I'm always gonna be a Paul Heyman guy. I've been a fan of Paul Heyman since I was a kid. Knowing what he was able to contribute with ECW, his influence on the business, working with guys like The Undertaker, Austin, RVD, um, Punk, Lesnar, Show, Angle. I'm always going to be a Paul Heyman guy. I think he's the greatest manager of all time. Benoit was there. I believe, who did he face? I think he might have faced Finlay. I think Benoit had faced Fit Finlay at Judgment Day and beat Finlay. Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy was on the pre-show, and he beat. I think he beat Simon Dean, if I'm not mistaken. I think Matt Hardy beat Simon Dean in the pre-show. Jeff wasn't there yet because Jeff came back in like August or September, and Judgment Day was in May. Batista was still out with an injury, so Batista wasn't there. He was still hurt. He didn't come back until like another month, I think. What do I like about Taz and Test? Um, I don't know what you mean by TAS. Taz or Taz? Taz, like from ECW? If that's who you mean, I was a big fan of Taz. He was my favorite commentator on SmackDown for the longest. I think he's hilarious. I think he's entertaining. His knowledge of the sport itself is fantastic. His ECW run is fantastic as well. As for Test, I don't think he got a fair shake. You know, he definitely could have performed a lot better. Sorry, not performed a lot better. He could have been presented a lot better. Had the size, had the athletic ability. Um, Sky was the limit for Test, and sadly, it was never met. You know, they didn't really present him a lot of main event opportunities. There's a lot of mid card and tag team stuff that they had for Test. What do you think about Nick Wade and Hook? Nick Wayne, Nick Wayne, dude, hell of young, super young. Like this guy has his whole career ahead of him. It looks like they're gonna finally break him away with Christian and the patriarchy. So I'm looking forward to see what they're able to do with him as a single. Hook, I honestly I like Hook, but they don't do anything with him. Like he's not interesting in my opinion. He has so much potential. I love the idea of him with Samoa Joe and Shibata. That's fine. But in terms of like a single start, he's not a single start. They don't present him as such. They had an opportunity there after the Jericho feud, didn't capitalize on it. He was back where he started. With Hook, it is stop and start. So much potential. I would love to see him succeed. He's young. He's young, so he's a lot of time there, but they don't do anything with Hook. Wish they would do better with him. CM Punk wasn't there yet. Um, Judgment Day was in May of 2006. CM Punk debuted on ECW in August of 2006. But fun fact, CM Punk's theme song from Killswitch Engage, "This Fire Burns," that was the theme song for Judgment Day 2006. So that's another reason why I became a fan of CM Punk. Love the look of the tattoos. His in ring style was something I was very much a fan of. And the fact that his theme song was the song of the pay per view we attended immediately locked in on CM Punk. So, what I like about Mark Briscoe and Orange Cassidy, wow, that pause makes me sound like I don't like them. I like Mark Briscoe, but I like the Briscoe brothers as a tag team. After they, well, sadly, after Jay's passing, Mark Briscoe's a single star. And when it comes to Mark Briscoe and Orange Cassidy, their in ring ability, I don't think you can question. I think they're great. I think they're great. But there's no advancement. Why should I get invested in them? I thought Orange Cassidy's run as the international champion was great. And I love the advancement of the story that he was getting more beat up, more tired with every title defense that went forward. It added to that, like, hey, is he going to continue to win? Can he keep this going? Can he keep this going? I love that about him. Mark Briscoe, I think, should have never lost that Ring of Honor title to Chris Jericho. I thought that was a bogus call. They went that direction, but again, take nothing away from their in ring ability. But in terms of like the character, they don't do anything with them. It was Fire Burns. Again, this was 2006. So Cult of Personality he used in 2011 in the WWE. I know he used in a Ring of Honor, but in the WWE, Fire Burns was the theme for Judgment Day. What do you like about Jack Perry? He's not in Few on More. I just read it how it's typed. What do you like about Jack Perry? He's not. Johnny, you're gonna have to help me out. I don't know what I was trying. I don't know what you're trying to say on that second half of the question. As for Jack Perry, though, again, it's another guy who has a lot of potential. He's young, has his future ahead of him. I do think the situation with CM Punk kind of, derailed that momentum there for a minute there. Um, but again, he has the potential. He has the potential, but hopefully he doesn't get in his own way, and prevent his own level of success. I liked him as a part of the Lucha Express. Him and Luchasaurus. Thought they were a great tag team. Thought they meshed well together. Breaking away as a heel. Saw a lot of potential as well. But again, are they going to do anything with it? I don't know. Everyone, everyone is at fault in that time. I mean, yeah, I think that whole situation was volatile. Punk, Jack Perry, Tony Khan, everyone had a hand in the way that could have been handled a lot better. And yeah, I mean, in hindsight, I'm sure people would have done things differently, but it happened the way it happened, right? The dog. What's going on? Love the username, the dog. Hello. Do you know Luchasaurus in AEW? I don't know. Where's he been? I think it's either he's been injured or he had a medical condition. Something had came up. He's been gone for a minute there. Again, it's a medical condition or an injury. I don't recall. It's one or the other. But he's been gone for a while. I think I read somewhere that he might be coming back soon, that he was like in attendance for one of the recent shows. So maybe we see him involved in this Nick Wayne and Christian angle. So we'll see. Okay, I'm a fan of Danny Garcia. I love Danny Garcia. I'm a fan of his work, especially when he was like the wrestler to the sports entertainer, in that feud. Um, but again, they get lost in. I feel like AEW's guys get lost in the shuffle a lot. But I like Danny Garcia. Part of me thought he was gonna jump to NXT for a minute there. He didn't. Stuck his guns. AEW, much respect, love, loyalty, good for him on that. But Danny Garcia has a very bright future ahead of him. I think we're going to see him contend for the world title in future pay-per-view events. Garcia has so much potential in that regard. Hologram. Oh, I like Hologram. Hologram matches are fun. It's a throwback to like the Nitro days where they had like that first hour where it was reserved for the cruiserweights. I, I will say Hologram, it took me a second. Early on, I was like, eh. But no, I mean, like, Hologram's great. I think he's highly entertaining. Um, I think he and the Harley Graham stuff, I think that's funny. Harley Cameron is starting to grow on me. At first, I was like, when it came to Harley, I was kind of cringing at it. But no, it's growing on me. I'm a fan of it. Hologram's awesome. This is refreshing because we don't have a lot of questions concerning AEW. A lot of times we're talking WWE, NXT. So to talk about the flip side and talk about all elite wrestling, that's a little refreshing. Holly Cameron and Chris Jericho singing in AEW. Imagine that. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. Jericho sang with MJF, right? What do you like about Will Ospreay and Ricochet? Oh man, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. So I know there's a lot of like heat and criticism that goes towards their way because of their style of wrestling, but I like all forms of wrestling. Will Ospreay and Ricochet, two of the best right now that AEW has. Love Ricochet's advancement in terms of his character. Turned heel and now he's getting comfortable in the role. I like seeing the suit and the backwards cap. I think that's hilarious. His matchup with Swerve Strickland's been fantastic. Will Ospreay, for me, is the best wrestler AEW has. That matchup against Kyle Fletcher. I drew a blank there for a second. Great stuff. Love Kyle Fletcher as well. Will Ospreay though he's gonna win that world title at All In. Big fan of them both. Love it. Samantha Irvin, big fan of hers as well. I thought she was fantastic as the ring announcer for WWE. Ultimately, it's not what she wanted. That's okay, chase your dreams. But I thought she was great. Big fan. What do I like about Hangman Adam Page and Adam Cole? Adam Cole in NXT I thought was top tier, was easily their ace, was their best wrestler at that time, especially with Undisputed Era. His time in Ring of Honor and in the Bullet Club was fun too. Injuries have kind of kept him back in AEW, but we're hopefully, trending towards a positive route here for Adam Cole. Like his work, fan of his. Adam Page definitely is he's arguably the face of the company. The main character energy, if you will, when it comes to the Hangman, and he's someone that I'm very much invested in because we get to see the evolution of his character. With every person he interacts with, every matchup he has, every high, every low. Big fan of Hangman. Probably going to win the world championship in the next couple years. Now that Leon Garcia wrapped up with WWE, who do you think will replace? I don't know. I did see that she's wrapping up as the full-time announcer. She was only there for a minute there. Obviously, Alicia Taylor is going to probably be their number one ring announcer. Maybe Mike Rome pops up on SmackDown, but then who does NXT? I don't know. It's a great question. It's a great question. I'm not sure who steps up. I'm thinking Mike Rome goes to SmackDown, though. Nia Jax had a great 2024. I'm not going to pretend like I'm her biggest fan, but I do think that she really improved in 2024. Sarah Strider, maybe. Maybe she does NXT, and then Mike Rome's going to SmackDown and she does NXT. Scott Steiner as a ring announcer. A shout out to San Fran with that one. Scott Steiner as the ring announcer in TNA, that clip is hilarious. Scott Steiner is a treasure. For anybody that hasn't seen the interview of Scott Steiner on Chris Van Vliet's podcast, Insight, dude, check that out. I'm a big advocate for Van Vliet. Check out his stuff if you love pro wrestling as much as we do. Check that out. Awesome stuff. Great conversations, great interviews by Van Vliet. Ronda Rousey was cool. I won't say that she's my favorite Nolan, but I do think that that early run was great. But then following WrestleMania 35, it wasn't the same. You know, her match at 34, fantastic. The mixed tag match, one of the best debuts for a newcomer. 35 was an okay match. The finish was kind of shaky, but still, we won't hold it against her. What I like about Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, Undisputed Era was my favorite thing going on at NXT. Like the Undisputed Era was just on fire, winning all the championship goals. I will say I'm a bigger Kyle O'Reilly fan than I am Bobby Fish. Nothing against him. It's just stylistically, I think Kyle O'Reilly is my preference. Chris Van Vliet, Sam Roberts, or Peter Rosenberg. I'm a fan of all three. I love listening to their content. Those are like the holy trinity for me when it comes to wrestling content creations. Love them all in their own way. For me personally, though, I like Chris Van Vliet's style. You know, it's way laid back. Um, Not even like an interview session. It's just a conversation with these guys. I will say Sam Roberts is pretty much the dream though because he gets to interact with them. If I was to pick a career, I think it'd be like Sam Roberts. Has his own podcast, has his own content, but then also works on like the pre-show, on the post-show. Like he's still involved with the company. So I'm a fan of Chris Van Vliet. He's probably gonna be number one there. But Sam Roberts and Peter Rosenberg actually work with the company, and I think that's especially cool. But in terms of like their content, I'll probably go Van Vliet, number two, Sam Roberts, number three, Peter Rosenberg. Odyssey's back. What's going on? What do you think about FTR being friends with Edge? I mean, because they go back, you know, since their time at NXT, they had their connections with Adam Copeland slash Edge. I think it makes sense. I like when their partnerships and the friendships bleed into reality. So I definitely love that realism. What do you think about Nash's podcast? I don't listen to it too often. Whenever like a clip pops up on YouTube, I'll listen to it. But Odyssey, I can't lie to you. I'm not gonna pretend like I listen to a lot of Kevin Nash's stuff. But like whenever there's like a clip, I might catch it. Has Van Vliet done with Mick Foley? I don't think he has. Maybe. I want to say no, but maybe he's done a lot of them. I saw Sam Roberts bailed the Miz at one point, and Sam Roberts should have not do that. What do you mean he bailed the Miz at one point? Like he left him? He abandoned him? What do you mean bailed? Tony Storm. I think Tony Storm is probably the best story they have in AEW. The timeless stuff is very entertaining to see her come all the way from where she was at on the main roster, dude. Big fan of Tony Storm. Had a great match at Revolution with Mariah May. I think it might have been match of the night. I think the steel cage match has an argument to be made there as well, but I think Tony Storm is probably the best. Is the best women's star for sure, but has a say in being the top star in the company. What do you think was the best DX theme? Oh, the classic one. I love the Run DMC version, but the classic version, you can't beat that theme. Thanks, Dwayne, for the question. Sam Roberts was too busy for the Miz, and the Miz got upset. Okay, so yeah, he bailed on him. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page there. You know, unfortunately, that happens though. You know, you have commitments, and maybe you have to break the commitments if something comes up. I do think, in terms of professionalism, it does kind of suck to do that to someone, especially the Miz and his line of work. But I feel like it happens. As long as it doesn't happen often, maybe it was a once in a blue moon type of a deal. But yeah, you hate to see that, right? The professionalism should be kept intact. I don't blame the Miz for getting too upset, though. I don't blame him. Leo Rush, I think he's athletic. Again, he falls in line with like the cruiserweight division that AEW has. Um, his story with Action Andretti and Top Flight, it's taking a minute. It's like a slow burn with them, but I admire them for pursuing a story with them and keeping it linear. So it's taking a second, but I'm for it. I'm for it. Even for the 80s, Hogan's leg drop was pitiful. You had someone like Bobby Eaton doing the Alabama Slam or Alabama Jam. That made it look weak. If you don't know what that move is, it's a flying leg drop. I mean, I feel like you can make that argument with any finish, though. Everyone kind of has their own spin on it, and just depending on what promotion they're in. Because Hogan's is like a classic leg drop, nothing to it. And then there's Bobby Eaton. What the WWE does, though, if you think about it, their thing is less is more. So for a guy like Hulk Hogan, if it's just a single leg drop, it's supposed to be like this devastating maneuver that puts away his opponents. Whereas a guy like Bobby Eaton has the Alabama Jam, and maybe the WWE just wanted to be more conservative when it comes to those type of maneuvers. It's all about the minute details, if anything. But I hear you. I definitely hear you. The only the only wrestlers Van Vliet hasn't interviewed: Randy, Shawn, Kevin Owens, and Triple H. He said he wants to have Triple H on the show, and they tried to, but they haven't been able to get that. I'm sure there's other people. I'm sure there's other people, but yeah, those were all great guests to have. That'd be great. So odds are he probably has interviewed Mick Foley then, maybe a while ago. Because even I was like, did he interview him? Like, I think he might have. Maybe I'm wrong, but odds are he probably already has. He's interviewed a bunch of people. Like, it's ridiculous. They did interact. Was Raw, Premiere, and Netflix. Yeah, but did he interview him like on his podcast? Because that's what I'm referring to. I'm talking about the podcast. Like, I like Travis Scott's music. You know, Goosebumps is probably my favorite song of his. Fiend's okay. I don't hate Fiend, but I like his music. Who do you think had the best frog splash? My brother and I were just talking about this the other day. Obviously, I think it's between Eddie and Rob Van Dam. If you're looking for precision and like power, I think Eddie Guerrero has that. But you're looking for an aerial attack and something that's a lot more versatile, Rob Van Dam has that. Tough, tough. It feels like Chris should interview RVD. I think he already did, honestly. I think he interviewed RVD, San Fran. But to answer your question, I think from a visual aspect, RVD has the better looking one. But from a practical standpoint, I got to go with Eddie. So to answer your question, Dwayne, I'm going to go Eddie Guerrero. But I do think those are the two top ones. But yeah, San Fran, I think he already interviewed RVD. Like some point within the last 2 years, I think. RVD should have one more run with WWE. I don't know about one more run. He could have one more, match. I don't know about a run. An appearance in the Rumble, maybe an appearance in NXT. That'd be cool. Here's an idea, the Lion Tamer, of course. I feel like there should be more high angle submission moves like you never hear about a high angle Scorpion Deathlock, even though it is possible. Yeah, no, the Lion Tamer, Eddie Guerrero's, El Lasso from El Paso are like the first two that come to my mind. You don't really see a lot of high angle ones. Maybe that's for safety reasons, but given the talent, I'm sure with the right individual with the move, I'm sure they can be safe about it. But yeah, you don't really hear a lot about him. RVD versus Pretty Deadlies. Who's his partner? Who would his partner be? The partner of his choice. I wonder who he would choose. I mean, he has history with Ray. Ray's been a former partner. But I'm also looking at it like narrative wise, who would Pretty Deadly want to be against? P Dubs, give me a oh hell yeah. Oh hell yeah. Right on. Teddy says, hey, big spender. Natalia and Chelsea Green. Natalia's a veteran, right? A leader in the locker room, a legend for sure. Love it. As for Chelsea Green, well, first of all, with Natalia, she's winning the Hall of Fame, has won the World Championship, the tag titles. Would love to see her get a run at that IC Championship. Would love to see her more consistently on TV too. I mean, we don't really see a lot of her matches or solid storylines involving Natalia. Respect to her. Chelsea Green, though, I am a fan. Think she's funny, entertaining, is a great heel, and it kind of walks the line of humor, but also that heelish humor, if anything. Love what they're doing between her, Alba Fire, and Piper Niven. I'm a fan of that. She's great. Super happy she won the US title. P-Dub says, I lost the membership. Gotta fix that. Gotta fix that, buddy. Come on now. Who would you say has a better super kick, gentlemen? Chris Adams or Shawn Michaels? Okay, so with Chris Adams, the problem here, more people are inclined to say Shawn because I feel like he has that longevity and the familiarity with the general, audience. I think a lot of people are going to be saying Shawn Michaels just because of the theatrics as well. Tunes up the band, has that preamble that leads to the super kick. Definitely think that Shawn Michaels is probably going to be the popular vote, though. Not to say Chris Adams doesn't have a great super kick. It's just I feel like people are going to say Shawn Michaels because it's, again, Shawn Michaels. I sent out a Chris Chelsea Green on a poll match to Twitter, but I ain't heard back. Stupid. Yeah, man, but everyone has to at least give respect to Chris Evans for inventing the move for the most part. No, I totally agree with you, Dwayne. Totally agree with you. It's just they're not going to acknowledge it. I feel like more people are inclined to say Shawn. I think Chris Adams definitely should get recognition. But it's like, I don't know how to put this. Who invented the dunk, right? You're going to get guys praising Michael Jordan, Vince Carter, because of the way they dunked the ball. They're not going to talk about the guy that invented it. They should, because they were a big part of it. If anything, they are a part of it because they made the move. But it all depends on who popularized it, who made it a household name. So, but I agree with you. They should give him respect. Absolutely. Got you to laugh at least. You did. You did. Yeah. I concede. You got me to corpse there for a second. Any update on WCW coming back? I know Triple H discussed. It's not coming back. WCW is not coming back. The best you're gonna get is the YouTube channel, WCW, where they're gonna upload the archives, the old matches, the old pay-per-views. It's not coming back. WCW is not coming back. ECW is not coming back. There's no point. Maybe reunion shows, maybe a reunion show, but there's a reason why those stuff went out of business. We call it breaking kayfabe. Kevin, hey, what's going on, dude? Long time no see. What's going on? Appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by, man. Our friend Kevin's in the chat. What do you like about the Alpha Academy? I think they're funny. You know, Tozawa, I definitely would love to see more. They don't really do anything with Tozawa. Otis is cool. Maxine Dupree's cool. Um, I would love to see them kind of acknowledge the ending of the Otis versus Chad Gable stuff. We never really got a concrete finish to that and allow Otis an opportunity to beat Chad Gable. So I do think there's an opportunity there to revisit the match for sure. Who do you think has the best moonsault, including variations such as the lion salt? Wow. I mean, because there's the other variations. The ones that stick out to me, Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle, I'm inclined to say I love how his was just so fluid and very crisp. He would get a great, hang time and just the overall arch of the moonsault was great. I look at other guys too. I think Christopher Daniels has to be presented with a level of credibility. A great moonsault from him. Also, I think Vader, for someone his size to do a moonsault, got to give him credit as well. But for me, I'm gonna go Kurt Angle. That's just me. Just from visually, he had one of the coolest looking moonsaults. But again, I want to give guys like Christopher Daniels and Ben Vader their shout out there. Never forget Up, Up, Down, Down, Breaking Solo Sokoa. Yeah, I remember that clip. Zach Gowen, he was going to be a stand up comic, but damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. He still got the other one. He still got the other leg. Just bought the new 2K25, and this is by far the deepest roster. Yeah, it's very deep. Surprised to see ECW legends like RVD and Sandman. Yeah, no, yeah, especially because they're now available for like the wide release. Last year they were DLC. I think Sandman was DLC and RVD was regular, but definitely the deepest roster. Yeah. Kevin, I'm with you. I just recently picked up our copy as well. Working on showcase mode. I still haven't played 2K25 yet. It's there. Just let me know, San Fran. It's there. Who do you think has the best setup taunt for their finish? Setup taunt. Okay. I'm a Shawn Michaels guy. People know he's my favorite. Love the whole tuning up the band. That's awesome. There's The Rock who kind of does like this taunt. He has his hands on his knees as he's kind of like preying upon his opponent. For sure. Undertaker, when he does the whole slash the throat type of deal. I don't know. I mean, for me, again, the answer's gonna be Shawn because you're asking for my favorite Shawn. I'm partial. I'm very biased when it comes to Shawn Michaels on that. But there's plenty. Definitely plenty. Been in the hospital since Wednesday. Got me choked up. I'm a little more free on what I type. That's why I haven't joined. Nah, you're not gonna piss me off. That's funny. But hey, hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully the hospital visit wasn't too serious. Glad you're here, man. Appreciate you being here though. Hopefully you get better and continuing on the upswing, dude. Glad you're here with us though, for sure. Who else was waiting for the White Six and Bloodline feud? Just me? No, hey, I'm with you, dethroned by Eli. I wanted to see some more faction warfare. I love seeing the competition between just the groups. I would have loved to have seen Bray Wyatt and versus Roman Reigns, that iteration of the Bloodline and White Six. But I'm with you. You're not the only one, buddy. Since I asked you who has the best super kick, who do you think has the worst super kick? Oh man, who has the worst super kick? James Ellsworth, because he had didn't he have like the sweet chin music as well, or he had the sweet shin music? Was it Ellsworth or Hornswoggle? It was one of them. It was one of them. But realistically, to answer your question, I had the worst super kick. It's tough because when I say it's tough, it's because there's so many people that do it. It's like it's become a transition move, very much like how Jake Roberts does the DDT. No, Dude Love had Sweet Chin music. Well, then maybe I had the name wrong, but I'm pretty sure like James Ellsworth or Hornswoggle did it too. I'm not gonna disrespect Dude Love though. All good. How you feeling? What's up, Gabs? Gabs in the chat. Hi guys. I lost track of time. I missed tonight's live. No worries, Gabs. But you're here now. We appreciate you regardless, bro. Thank you so much, Gabs. Y6 was an unfortunate fail. They could have been great with it. Just been like, yeah, no. I mean, I'm very optimistic. I try to see them out and give them that chance. That shadow of a doubt. But having them lose against the Final Testament was certainly a choice. We haven't seen them since. Hopefully soon. Steven Richards had a dope super kick, says dethroned by Eli. Kevin, I've been playing Showcase and I've been stuck on stage 3 against Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Dude, Kevin, the cheat, man, put the whole thing on easy. What I do when it comes to the Showcase mode, I put that difficulty on easy just so you can breeze by and unlock everything and then change the difficulty back. Gunther, hold on. P-Dubs, Ellsworth hitting a sweet chin music is wrong as hell. You gotta have a chin to do that move. That's why I picked it. Best chops beside Flair? Gunther. Gunther has crazy chops, yeah. Benoit, Bob Holly, those are great ones as well. Big Show have decent chops. Gunther, Benoit, and Bob Holly are great picks. Find it hilarious how Triple H's first gimmick was a rich, stuck-up Connecticut guy, when in reality, I don't think Triple H grew rich. Don't think he did either. Sweet chin music or sweet kick? I'm gonna go with the sweet chin music all day. Built like 2 loaves of Texas white bread is crazy. Here's something I would find funny. A British wrestler who's very stereotypical, enjoys a sipping tea, and whenever he gets hit with a move at the beginning of a match, you can hear him saying, "Good heavens." I mean, they could have did that with Regal. They could have ran that angle with Steven Regal, if anything. They could have. Do I listen to CVV? Absolutely. I'm a big fan of Chris Van Vliet. I still have to listen to his last interview, though. I haven't gone to that one. I think with JD. Chris Van Vliet's latest interview with JD McDonough. I haven't gotten to it. I have it saved. I'll get to it. What happened to that white British Jew with blonde hair? Ivan? Ivan? Ilya? Ilya Dragunov? Is that what you're talking about? Because he's not British. Who had the better spear? Edge or Batista? Between those two, I'm going to go Edge. I'm going to go Edge. AJ Styles? What about AJ Styles? Here's a spot I always enjoy. The beginning of a match, there's like a singular punch and then a finisher. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, the quick finish. Yeah, that dude. Dragunov, I think, tore his ACL. He had some kind of like injury that, has sidelined him since. Hopefully he's able to come back soon. He probably won't be back until after Mania though. But he had like tore his ACL. How about them, the Dallas Cowboys? Come on, Israel. Good luck to them. Edge has the worst spear. I mean, but in comparison to Batista, I'm gonna take his. I think Braun Breaker has a mean spear though. I'm a big fan of Braun Breaker. He was on the most recent CVV. Yeah, he was on an episode. I haven't heard his recent interview though with JD. JD is his recent interview. Oh, hey, Monty Brown. Shout out. That's a deep cut. Had a devastating spear. The pound, yeah. Yeah, the pounds. Monty Brown, they didn't do anything with him as Marcus Corvon. Batista has a way better spear. Who else do you think will have a Hall of Fame? I'm thinking Demolition. And after that, I don't think anybody else. I'm doing well, Liam. I'm doing well. Hopefully you're doing okay too, buddy. Edge just drags you down. True. But I like his because it felt like a quick attack. Like it wasn't as much power as a quick attack. The way I can compare it, Batista would break him down like a sledgehammer, like in terms of force. And Edge, I always took it as if you were getting shanked with like a blade. Like it wasn't as strong or impactful, but it was sharp enough to where it would still do some damage. That's the way I took it. Do I believe Braun Breaker could be as big as Batista? I do. I mean, okay, Batista's a Hollywood actor. Take that out of it. Take that out of it. In terms of like wrestling, I do think so. I think he could be big. For the longest, I didn't think Truth or Consequences was a real town. Oh, New Mexico? Isn't that New Mexico? Batista's spear was flat. If he wouldn't have been as big as he was, you wouldn't say that. Is X-Pac in the Hall of Fame? Kevin, he's in as a member of DX and as the NWO. So technically he's a two-time Hall of Famer, but not as a singles. Do you think Michelle McCool deserves being in the Hall of Fame? I really don't think she deserves it. Honestly, can't think of anything she's done except for right. Cool. It's up for debate. I think you can make the argument against her. I do think in the terms of her era, it's warranted. I think she should have a case to be in the Hall of Fame. However, I do think individuals like a Mickey James, like a Victoria, I think those women should have gone in before her. Not to say she doesn't deserve it. I think Michelle McCool could have eventually gone in the Hall of Fame. My issue is Mickey James and like a Victoria should have went ahead of her. The fact that Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler went in before Mickey James and Victoria, I don't agree with that at all. Rhino, Goldberg, Braun, Roman, Batista, and Edge. I will say, yeah, Edge is probably the worst one there. I think I like Braun's, I like Roman's. Rhino's gore is fantastic. Goldberg's is fantastic. Gilbert, shout out to P Dubs. Shout out to Gilbert. It was such a real shame how the fans treated Batista in 2014, but they'll get over it. New Mexico, I thought it was like something along the lines of the gates of hell for Kane, but no, it's a real town. Crazy, right? Mickey James should have definitely gone in before McCool. Absolutely. What is she, like a 6-time women's champion in WWE? I mean, that's not counting her title runs in TNA. Oh, the vignette could be for Ilya. Victoria should have definitely went. Yeah, Victoria and Mickey James definitely should have went in before her. I think it's criminal that she's not in there. Could the vignette be for for Ilya? Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Maybe. I won't knock it. That's not a bad idea. Speaking about vignettes, I remember Alberto Del Rio's. Oh, dude, Del Rio's. Yeah. They really try to push him as like the modern Ted DiBiase and JBL, if anything. Dashing Cody Rhodes, I remember that as well. I think we found the first thing we disagree on. When Stacy got inducted, I was screaming, talk to me, talk to me. Like the nerds from Goofy, remember? I love me some Stacy. It's not that I don't like Stacy Keibler. It's just to put her in before Mickey James and Victoria. That's my biggest thing. She could be in there. It's fine. But again, if you're going to make the argument of like Michelle McCool, should she be in it? At least Michelle McCool won titles. Stacy Keibler didn't win anything, you know? But again, it's up to everyone's opinion. That's my opinion. Should she have been in the Hall of Fame? Sure. Sure. But I just feel like there's other people who should have went in before her. Shout out to Dash and Cody Rhodes. Great gimmick. Alberto Diddy Rio. Odyssey's right on the money. Fun fact, y'all, I use Dash and Cody Rhodes' advice till this day. It's pretty good grooming advice. Very true, but them legs, though, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. We need Awesome Kong back. Man, Awesome Kong, dude, her run in the WWE as Karma, that sucked. And when I say it sucked, I don't mean like, oh, it was trash. I mean like everything, the way it fell, it was a shame. Obviously, I feel like there was a little bit of a difference because where she came from, but there was a pregnancy and how that ended up. I mean, it was unfortunate. It was unfortunate. Wish we could have gotten a better run with Karma. Jazz was a juggernaut, and I don't think she's in the Hall of Fame. She's not in the Hall of Fame, but she could be. She could be. In South Carolina, we have a town called Coward. That's wild. I feel like that would be a good place to be from in wrestling, especially if you had an overly reckless because it's funny or yeah, that's not I didn't even know it. That's crazy. Awesome Kong versus Naya. I'd pay to see that. I'm going for Awesome Kong. No disrespect to Naya. I think the Bella Twins being in the Hall of Fame is an absolute joke. Uh, Again, it's one of those things where it's like, I get it. I get why they're in there, but there's other people who should have gone in before her, or before them, I should say. So I'm with you. Carmella got roasted by someone for what she said on about WWE. God, who roasted her? But it's just because like the angle she's playing at with her release, I didn't like the whole because she's a woman or because she's pregnant. It's like there's other women that were pregnant and are still retained. Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch. I think they didn't have anything for Carmella. And it's like, would she have rather been there and just not? I think it was on Stevie Richards' podcast. I gotta listen to it. I've seen Stevie Richards videos on YouTube, like the clips here and there, and I'm interested. Him and like Maven, I catch up with them. Not subscribe, maybe I should. That's on me. I probably should sub, but I'll check them out. Paulin and Brian Kendrick underrated. I love their tag team. Great run at the tag team titles in 2006 to 07. Do you listen to Cafe? Oh, with Rene Dupree? Again, Rene Dupree is definitely one of those guys where it's like I see the clips and I'll listen to it. Not subbed, but probably should. But yeah, I know about Rene Dupree. There's also a town in North Carolina that's called Kill Devil's Hill. Oh, that's a fire one. That's a fire town. That's crazy. Definitely underrated talent. French Tickler and that dance though. Shout out to Rene Dupree, former tag team champion. Stevie did a video on the early SmackDown games and compared them to the current. Odyssey, I'm sold. I'm gonna check it out. That sounds very cool. Shout out to one of the members of the BWO. Fifi, underrated dog. There's Matilda from the British Bulldogs, and then there's Fifi at the top of the list. And Pepper for the Al Snow. Those are the holy trinity of dogs in pro wrestling. The early SmackDown games were freaking awesome. Arcade style. Love it. San Fran has them all. San Fran has all the SmackDown games. Which dream matches do you still want to see? And which wrestlers do you wish? I mean, for a live, Eddie Guerrero, Owen Hart, for sure. If it means preventing the tragedy, then Benoit. Those are the first two that come to mind. Bray Wyatt. I mean, really everybody. You know, who I wish was still alive, everybody. But dream matches that I want to see, which dream matches do you still want to see? In terms of like right now, Gunther versus Brock, I think it would definitely be a good one. For ones that haven't, or for ones that won't happen, stuff like Angle versus Brett, Shawn versus Eddie. You know, those are the dream matches that will never happen, but definitely that. I managed to get my hands on the ECW game for the N64 facts. RVD goes hard. Shawn versus Eddie for me. Shawn versus Kenny Omega would be crazy. Roman versus Kenny would be kind of cool. The leaders of two different promotions there. Roman versus Kenny. That'd be cool. Randy versus Cody's gonna happen this year, man. I'm sold. If it doesn't happen this year, it's next year's WrestleMania. But that'll be cool. Randy as a heel. Kills Devil Hills is where I'm from, and literally in the hospital here as we speak. That's wild. Roman versus Trick. I'm down. There's a town called Beer in Delaware. Man, there's just towns everywhere with like random names. Hey, Salvi's in the chat. Just join your live. What do you think about Nick Nemeth, about what he did at Sacrifice? Not sure if they asked you yet. Not yet. English or Spanish? Oh, no. Odyssey laughed. So, disregard. Okay, right on. Appreciate that. Um, No one's asked me about Nick Nemeth. I like the direction they're going, though. It's something fresh. Having him turn heel on Matt Hardy, I think that basically guarantees that the Nemeth brothers are going to go after the Hardys for the tag titles. They're probably going to beat them. I think the Nemeth brothers are going to win the championships. They're going to beat the Hardys. We'll see where that goes after that. It was interesting to see where they were going with Ryan because he was basically glazing Nick Nemeth every chance he got, hyping him up, with the whole my brother," and it's like I get what they're doing. I like the heel turn, and they're probably gonna win the tag titles. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Delaware Rattlesnake from Beer Jello. That's crazy. Booker T versus Swerve would be awesome. I like that. Love Booker T. He's awesome. Strickland's one of my favorites in AEW. He's the ace. Him and Osprey for the AEW World Title last year. Fantastic matchup. Would love to see them. Wish I could see. Osprey versus Shawn would be crazy. Swerve versus Seth. That'd be awesome. Osprey versus Seth. They have history. That whole Twitter exchange. Well, Osprey versus Seth Rollins. Swerve versus Seth Rollins. That'd be great. I'm with that. There's also a town called Boring in Oregon. And that's crazy because Oregon's known for its weather. So it's that's low-key a fitting name for Oregon. These are great dream matches. Brett versus Angle for sure. Osprey and Seth would kill each other. Still though, for the right price, they work together. I think for the right price. Will Osprey versus Seth Rollins would. I would love to see that match. There's also a place called Goose Pimple Junction in Virginia. Dwayne, how do you have all this on file? Osprey would get a strong talking to before coming on board. He has to be safer in WWE. No, and I feel like they wouldn't let him do as much. Excuse me. Because in WWE, it's always less is more. They don't let you do a lot of the crazy stuff head on. I mean, I'm surprised they were allowing Penta to do all those Mexican destroyers so early on in his matches. But yeah, no, I agree with you. They definitely would try to tone his work down and try to make every move feel a lot more impactful. There's a town called Gun Barrel in Texas. Odyssey says destroyers are safe. No, I mean, I'm not saying they're not, but I just feel like the WWE, they don't like to highlight these crazy moves. Not to say the destroyer's not safe. It's just it's a maneuver we don't see as much, and Penta's been spamming it lately, which I'm not mad at. I think it's an awesome move. It looks fantastic. But again, it's always less is more with them. Hooker, Oklahoma, and Hungry Horse, Montana are awesome names. Kill, which is in Ireland. Wild. You've seen Osprey last couple of matches with that other dude, Kyle Fletcher? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like the matches with Kyle Fletcher, they would not allow that in WWE. Freaking insane. But I love it. I love to see the different aspects of pro wrestling. That's why I've always said wrestling's a buffet. There's a little bit of everything for everybody. If you don't like the high flying acrobatics that a guy like Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay do, there's other forms of it. There's the technical. There's the lucha. There's the strong style. I feel like they missed out on an opportunity to build Hulk Hogan from Patriot, Kentucky. Yeah, because they had him from Venice Beach, right? It wasn't Venice Beach early on. Kyle did a jumping tombstone on the steel steps. Yeah, I believe that was at Full Gear, if I'm not mistaken. The jumping tombstone under the steel steps was crazy. And I got a lot of flack from people because, whoa, hit my desk. Because Ospreay kicked out of it. Because he hit it, dragged him into the ring, and he kicked out of it. And it's that move should have killed a person. Oh, Odyssey's throwing down the challenge. Odyssey says, Dwayne, I challenge you to a match at Mania. I accept. We got a match. That move should be protected. I agree. I agree with you. Dwayne just accepted the challenge. I tell you what, make it a Texas death match. $50 capitals in America. An Ironman match, hair versus facial hair. That's a killer stipulation there, San Fran. Your your hair versus my beard. That'd be wild. Dwayne says, let's start soon. Name 50 capitals in America. That'd be wild. Like, states is one thing, but capitals is crazy. The old school pile driver should be brought back. I've been a fan of the old school pile driver and like the DDT. San Fran, down. Um, but like the DDT and the pile driver, the old school maneuvers, I've always been a fan of like the old school stuff, you know, and protecting it and making sure that it lives on and has that level of credibility. So I agree with you in that regard, Odyssey. Oh no. Austin, Texas, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Little Rock, Arkansas, Jackson, Mississippi, Montgomery, Alabama, Tallahassee, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia. Oh no. If it could happen, what wrestlers would you pick in a War Games? Oh, that's a great question. What? Um, so War Games in WWE. I think for AEW, it's probably a lot more easier to pick the AEW team. I'm looking at guys like Swerve, or I'm assuming it's 5-on-5. So Swerve, probably Will Ospreay. You're probably gonna have to throw in Moxley. I'm gonna throw in Moxley because of that WWE relationship. So that's three. Darby, and the final one. Oh man, I feel like we need a big dude. We need some muscle. So it's Swerve, Osprey, Moxley, Darby. I'm gonna throw in. It's again. It's my list. I'm gonna throw in Brody King as like an X factor, and as like the reinforcement. WWE. I'm gonna say. I thought about Hobbs, But I like Brody King more. I'm more of a Brody King guy. WWE, I think it's gonna be Roman, Cody, Seth, Punk, and the fifth one to combat with Brody King. I'm gonna put Gunther. That's my 5-on-5. If you were in charge of AEW, how would you book CM Punk differently? I mean, in terms of booking him, I don't think I would have changed it. I think they could have handled the whole issue between the Elite and Punk a lot differently. Sometimes you have to face the issue head on. The initial idea was to separate them, have Punk on Collision, have the Bucks and Kenny on Dynamite. Sometimes you just have to be an adult, put them in the room together, hash it out, say what you got to say. And at the end of the day, Tony Khan's the boss. Are we going to work together? Are we going to work money? Or are you going to let this get in the way of that? Because if you start walking on eggshells and not addressing the issue at hand, it just begins building and building and building, and nothing is resolved. So I don't think I would have booked him differently. I think behind the scenes, you had to address what was going on and handle it like adults. So I wouldn't book him differently. You do not have an Odyssey. Odyssey, I have spent more money on spilled liquor than you have spent on your utilized taxes and car payments combined. Dwayne's out here cutting a promo. San Fran says the bottom line is that I'm gonna put you in a camel clutch and make you humble. And that's the bottom line because San Fran said so. Good luck, pal. San Fran, what in the blue hell are you saying, Hobbs? What? This chat's funny. See, Odyssey, you may think you're tough. You may think you have a legacy, a name, a legend behind you. But it's simply untrue. You don't have the skills. You do not have the will to go in that ring. God, I love wrestling. Wow, we have some promos getting cut here. And right now in the chat, 64% say Dwayne, 67% say Dwayne now. 36% Odyssey. Oh, not looking good for Odyssey, man. I mean, hey, and Dwayne out here putting up a good fight. He's over here naming a good portion of the states already, cutting promos on him. $65% now in favor of Dwayne. Y'all should do a bull rope match so none of y'all can run away. A bull rope match, a strap match. But let me know in the chat because we've had some great conversations about AEW. Let me know in the chat. Do you guys want to see more AEW content, more like on the podcast, more videos, more live streams regarding AEW? Because I go off of based what the audience is interested in. And we have had a lot of interest in the WWE, more so Raw and SmackDown. I watch NXT, I watch AEW. I keep up with TNA. I don't watch it every week, but I still keep up with the storylines. I'm up with their YouTube channel and keeping up with like their highlights and stuff. So, I mean, let me know. You guys want to see more AEW content on the channel? I'll always do WWE because I'm more inclined to do so. I've been a fan since. Kevin Nash's podcast, thoughts on it. Haven't listened to it. I do have a level of respect for Kevin Nash when it comes to money making. This guy was a businessman. He knew how to make money. He knew how to get that, that ching. In terms of wrestling, though, I was never a Kevin Nash guy. I just never was. Kevin Nash, again, just like Stevie Richards and Maven, whenever there's a clip that I pass by on it, then I'll listen to it. But I can't really give you a fair opinion on it. I'm not an avid listener. The ones I listen to, I listened to 6 Feet Under with The Undertaker, Chris Van Vliet, Sam Roberts. Yeah, Odyssey just said Undertaker podcast. Yeah, so I listened to The Undertaker's podcast. I listened to Jim Cornette's podcast. I listened to his. Aside from them, Bischoff sometimes. I listen to more like the old heads. I also listen to Too Many Sports. That's crazy. Um, that's weird. Too many sports. The old name of one of my older blogs there. Dwayne keeps going. Columbia, South Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, Nashville and Tennessee, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Topeka, Kansas. What a name for Topeka, Kansas. I don't know. 21 votes in, 71% in favor of Dwayne. I think we might have to call it. I'll call it when we get to 25 votes. But it's looking like it's running away with it, man. There's just so much content because it's like I like to listen to all of those podcasts. Obviously, I watch the weekly shows, watch basketball, watch football when it's around. I'm a big movie guy, so I'm watching movies. Got to work. There's a lot going on. That's why when it comes to podcasts, I listen to it like on 2.0 speed to try to finish them half the time. Dwayne says, Odyssey, you're nothing compared to me. See, you may think that you have the skills or anything like that. Dwayne, you're not worth my time. I have better fish to fry. Odyssey got bigger things to do, man. Sounds like something Scott Steiner would say. Scott Steiner had the best promos. Entertaining as hell. Great interview, too, with Chris Van Vliet. We're a fan of Scott Steiner over here in San Fran and myself. In issuing a challenge, and when I accept, you want to run away. Damn, this is getting personal. I'm going to call it here at 22 votes, 73% Dwayne. Freakzilla, Big Pump, Freakzilla, Big Bad Booty Daddy. What was the last one? You're mid Carter and you're a jabroni. You are nothing compared to me. Here we go. We got some fire coming back. Big Bad Booty Daddy, Big Papa Pump, Freakzilla. Oh man, what was his other one? Odyssey says run that poll again. I don't know, Odyssey, man. It was getting kind of ugly. 72%, 27%. We'll run it again on another stream, but I don't know, man. This time, Steiner Math was an all-time best promo. It was a great promo. Next time, Odyssey, I got you. Recount is crazy. Steiner Math was great, though. Shout out to Salvi there with the deep cut. Then what does that say about you? You want to run away from a jobber and you're damn. I did not think we were going to develop a feud here between the two. You hate to see it, guys. Come on. We're all a part of the same team. Wish I could have seen TNA in the 2000s. San Fran, I'm with you. The poll was rigged. I'm requesting a recount. We'll run it back tomorrow. I tell you what. We'll run it back tomorrow. Just because it's too soon, I think. We'll run it back tomorrow. If anything, and if you get that, it'll be 2 out of 3. You can get that win, Odyssey. Wish I could have seen TNA. We watched it in like 2008 to 2010, 2011, if anything. But I wish we could have kept up with it from like 04 when it first started. I know TNA started in 2002, but Impact as a weekly show, I believe, was in 04, was when it started. Dwayne, more like defame. Telling you guys, rematch tomorrow. I got you guys. Why was CM Punk so unpopular in AEW? I mean, he wasn't unpopular with the fans. I think in terms of unpopular with backstage with all the other wrestlers, I think it's because he was of a different era. This guy is throwback, old school. And Punk even voiced it. He said that he worked with like a lot of children, he said. And the fact that there were so many people who were of, you're sounding like Doink the Clown. He was of the kind of mindset where it's like you have legends in your midst, you want to ask them questions, you want to pick their brain, and people weren't doing that. It was said that Punk said that Hangman Adam Page said that he didn't need advice from other guys, and that was dumb. Odyssey says CM Punk was missing sports too in AEW. Always missing spots. Yeah, I mean, physically, Punk wasn't what he was, but it's because I would like to chalk it up to the fact that he hadn't been wrestling in years, like a decade. He rubbed people the wrong way. It's been well documented that Punk is the kind of guy to wear his emotions on his sleeve. He's going to tell you what he thinks. He's not going to hold back. He's not going to pull back his punches. And that probably rubbed people the wrong way. He's a very confrontational person, doesn't back down, very stuck in his own ways. And that just rubbed people the wrong way, I think. Tony Khan handled the situation poorly. I agree. I think they could have made some huge money had they retained it. Did you ever see the YouTube show Being the Elite? They had some great stuff. Oh, I love BTE. You know, we were watching it from like 2016 to the very end. And after that, when it became like the Dark Order, I just fell off. Once the Dark Order took over BTE, I didn't watch anymore. But their stuff when it was at its core, Kenny, the Bucks, Cody, Marty, Flip, all of them, Fat Ass Massa, like all of them, that was awesome. That was at its peak for me. Cole Cabana too. Oh yeah, the Cole Cabana situation wasn't great. Why did Punk leave? Punk was fired. That's what they wanted you to say. Tony Khan fired Punk because of the fight with Jack Perry at All In 2023, but he was gonna leave. I think it's because of contract obligations he couldn't, and that fight basically got him out. Remember MTV Wrestling Show back in the day with Tyler Black? Yeah, what was it? Society X? Wrestling Society X? Odyssey, you weren't winning anything. I'll never submit to a yellow. That's crazy. It's still going. That makes for great entertainment. Yeah. I wish we get to see Punk versus Omega. We were robbed of it, Muhammad. Punk versus Omega, Punk versus Osprey, Punk versus Swerve. I mean, so many matches that could have happened, but ultimately it didn't because cooler heads could not prevail. A lot of great matches that we didn't get to see. Vince stated that the real beef makes for great matches and promos. That's what I'm saying. I agree with you, Odyssey. Had they really could have figured it out, worked it out, to have CM Punk versus Kenny, CM Punk and FTR versus the Elite, would have made for great television, but they couldn't get it together. Punk versus Cole would have been cool. Edge versus Punk, I don't know about that one. That's the only one I'm kind of iffy on. I would watch it, yeah, but it's not on my short list of like, oh, I would love to see it. We were lucky we got to see Punk versus Samoa Joe, his last match, which was awesome. Cool to see. Dwayne says this match is still scheduled, everyone. Hey, tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be back for the rematch, Odyssey and Dwayne, part 2. Did you think Tony Khan made a mistake by showing the Punk and Jack fight on TV? Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Joe didn't retire. Yeah, I think it was pointless. I don't know why they did that. I think it was stupid to have them air that footage. Had nothing to do with Punk. They were trying to get heat for the Elite. It just proved that the biggest draw in wrestling was CM Punk. The fact that they used him as a way to pop a rating, to bring eyes to the pay-per-view that was coming up. For what? He doesn't work for that company. He works for the other one. I don't get it. I thought it was stupid then. I still think it's stupid now. I can't believe they did that. And it looks like a blemish on their history as a company. I do think that to this day it makes Punk look better. Because what was their goal? What was their goal here? To make Punk look like a bad guy? He went on the Ariel Helwani show, had the interview, voiced his grievances, and gave a play-by-play explanation of what happened on the night of All In. And they showed the footage, and it was word for word what happened. It was word for word what happened. Why did they show that? To support Punk's argument? I thought it was stupid. It gets me hot to this day. I think it's ridiculous. I heard that Tony Khan did not regret a single thing, and that's his fault. That's his problem. He needs to work on himself. If he doesn't regret a thing, cool. That's totally fine. That's your prerogative. But not accepting responsibility or recognizing accountability is bad. I'm so scared of a list. Bet you are going to handle the Assassins 1 and 2 from WCW to put me in a handicap match, but I will beat them. I think Shane is helping Tony. Maybe. I will say AEW's been getting better. I think they've been getting better, with the exception of like the whole Death Rider stuff. Punk versus Hook would have been cool. Would have been cool. Shane hated the fact Triple H, Khan, Stephanie took over. Yeah, I mean, poor Shane, right? I think he's one of the best. Well, he probably is the best McMahon, but yeah, that sucks for him. Didn't Tony ghost Shane McMahon after the meeting? I'm not sure. I mean, that's what I've heard. Obviously, you and I mean, hey, we're not reporters. We don't follow them all the time. But I don't. I wouldn't doubt it. I could believe that. I could believe that happened. Did you see the very first All In? Oh yeah. If anything, sadly, hold on. We saw the very first All In when it came out, and then when it was available, made sure to buy it on Blu-ray. So you better believe we saw the first All In. Great card. I mean, you had, Kenny Omega versus Penta, Cody versus Nick Aldis for the NWA title. Obviously, the 6-man tag, the Bucks and Coda versus Mysterio, Phoenix, and Bandito. I mean, absolutely. We watched it live. Part of history. Tony Khan afraid that Shane will run AEW better than him. That's what I believe. Muhammad, I think you're right. Shane and Vince have always had a difficult relationship. This is true. This is why he's not running the company, I believe. Probably not wrong, Odyssey. Probably not wrong. We're going to go for another maybe 10 minutes here on the live before we call it. See me and Odyssey get started with challenge, and now he's trying to run like a coward. He has done it. Dwayne won't let it go, man. Dwayne's still on the hunt. But yeah, we're going to go for another maybe 10 minutes, probably 11:20 is when I'm going to wrap it up. 11:20 my time. Don't know what your guys' time is, but the 20-minute mark, 20 minutes after the hour. We're going to call it there. So any last-minute questions, comments here in the chat, make sure to throw them down before we head out for the night or the morning, again, depending where you're at. Dwayne, do not mess with Final Boss. Odyssey out here not playing games, man. Tomorrow we're going to open that poll up again. We have a big show tomorrow. Monday Night Raw from, where is it? From Belgium. Be midday. So odds are the latest episode of the J Area Wrestling Podcast will come out probably the same time as Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Then we'll have another clip on Wednesday, another live stream Monday, and then Thursday. Do you think we will ever see another curtain call moment in wrestling? Not to that magnitude. I mean, the curtain call it killed kayfabe essentially. It was like the final nail in the coffin for kayfabe. I don't think we're going to get something like that again in that magnitude. It was a once in a lifetime type of a deal. Crazy. So I don't think so. I don't think so. Odyssey, you're not the final boss. You're the tutorial character. Is crazy. Imagine if The Rock takes over Mercedes. Oh, imagine if Rock takes Mercedes Moné from WWE just to join from AEW. Oh, from AEW. No, I mean, that's wishful thinking, Muhammad. That's fantasy booking. Obviously, that's not going to happen. But if it were to happen, I mean, it would make sense to join up with the final boss. She's the CEO. She's Mercedes Moné. I mean, hey, it's a good match. I think it's a good match. But I don't think Mercedes Moné is coming back. Not for a while. Maybe eventually, but not for a while. I think she's gonna have an extended stay in AEW. So personally, who do you think is gonna win, me or Odyssey? Oh man, don't do this to me. I don't want to have a dog in the fight. I'm a fan of both of you. Why do I want to see two of my friends go at it? I don't want to see it. I'm conflicted. I'm like Bianca Belair. I don't want to see Naomi and Jade Cargill go at it. Those are my friends. But I do think, if you want my opinion, I do think that today's poll is an indicator. Are we going to see back-to-back victories for Dwayne? I think there's a shot. I think there's a shot. Troglodytes. Why does Dwayne and Odyssey have beef? Well, it goes back. I mean, Odyssey throughout the challenged Dwayne to a match at WrestleMania, and it was supposed to be a Texas death match, but then along the lines it was altered to naming every capital. I mean, hey, it's a feud that started out very mild, but has quickly found some heat to it. And I mean, if you go back in the chat, you're gonna see the logs. I mean, these guys are cutting promos on each other all night long. We're gonna have a rematch tomorrow during the live stream. We're gonna have a rematch: Odyssey versus Dwayne, Part 2. Dwayne emerged victorious tonight. Has the 1-0 victory. Can he go back to back, or will Odyssey be able to tie it up? Because he's a yellow belly cow who's trying to run from a death match of a lifetime. Going to have my blood on my belt and send it to you. Looks like a 3 stages of hell, if you ask me. Sanfran's onto something here. If Odyssey pulls it out tomorrow, we might have to go for the 3rd stage. We might have to go for round 3. 1 point for Dwayne. Mama Mitchell looking at you. Oh, look at you, boy. That's wild. Pulling a page out of the book of the final boss, I see. Triple H versus Randy Orton. That's right. The Bash, 2009, 3 stages of hell. All right, guys. As we bring it to a close, I want to thank you guys for another live stream. Tune in for tomorrow for Monday's live stream following Monday Night Raw, probably in the evening. We won't do it midday, but we're going to look forward to that. Talk about what happened on Monday Night Raw. We look forward to another round between Dwayne and Odyssey during their saga. Hey, at least I can have Mama after all. I'm pretty sure yours like, whoa. We're getting a little hot out here, huh? Regardless, we're going to tune in for tomorrow's live stream where we're going to see the rematch between Dwayne and Odyssey. Thank you for the hearts in the chat. Sanfran agrees with me. It's a little heated here. We're going to stop here because it's not going to get. Look at that. You can't see me. I mean, it's getting good. It's getting good. But regardless, we ran for nearly 2.5 hours here on the live stream. Appreciate you guys joining us again. Keep the cameras rolling. Oh man, hundreds in the chat. Sanfran using the emoji. Shout out. The final boss is running this. We got a lively chat here. Roman. Shout out with the Roman. MJF's a punk. MJF needs to come to WWE. I think eventually he will. I think eventually he will. Before it ends. I mean, because everybody's want to go to WWE. That's always everyone's goal. Dwayne says I'm still here. Sanfran, I don't know if you saw that, but Odyssey calling you out next, Sanfran. Have you seen Ready to Rumble? I have. Classic David Arquette, starring stars like Diamond Dallas Page. He's in there. Goldberg's in there. Sting is in there. A lot of WCW stars. I honestly I think it's a bad movie, but it's one of those movies where it's so bad, it's fun. It's a guilty pleasure movie of mine. I'm I'm not by any means saying it's a great movie, but it's a great time. I think it's funny. It's a bad movie, but it's fun. I enjoy it. It's a guilty pleasure. Still here being Punk Dwayne. What the punkles did I do? I will see you at Mania Odyssey. There you go. There you go. Whoa. Sanford out here, Odyssey, you gotta chill or it might be a handicap match. I mean, it just might end up being a triple threat like the final boss wants to end the stream. Oh, now, Odyssey run the show. Nah, it'll be special guest referee. Like Seth Rollins versus, or not, sorry, yeah, like Rollins versus McIntyre. Damn, Dwayne. Damn, Dwayne. Odyssey, a big fan of The Rock, I see. I'll do the fast count, Dwayne. No need. I mean, with a move like the Brainbuster, that just might be it. Jim asks who you got, Gunther or Jay. I'm gonna go Jay. I'm gonna go Jay for now. Again, my opinion can change, but if you ask me right now, I'm going Jay. I think he beats Gunther. Odyssey asks, what's your favorite move? Am I the only one who thinks Grayson Waller is a douche both inside and out of the ring? I mean, he might just be really good at his gimmick. As a Bay Area native, I'm so hyped for him. Oh, honestly, yeah, I'm so happy for Jay. I want him to win that world championship. Hopefully, him and Gunther have a great matchup. Odyssey, don't take my Mexican destroyer. Doesn't matter what your favorite move is. Who is you think the same both in the ring? Probably Punk. Punk just strikes me as the type of guy who lives like it's not even a gimmick. It's literally him. Cody. Those are guys that I'm thinking. Sheamus. Yeah, I would see Sheamus. Sheamus seems like a genuine dude. He seems cool. Punk and Cody should feud together. I think they will eventually. I think so. Maybe next year's Mania. Javon, maybe from NXT. Javon, yeah, that's a good one. Predictions for Cody Cena face off tomorrow. That's a great question, Jim. Because it's like, how is it going to end, right? I mean, is it going to get physical? I would think they're not going to do anything physical. They're going to hold off on the physicality. Obviously, Cody's going to come out and ask why. I think that's when we're going to finally get explanation from Cena. about him wanting to win the championship and Cody's in his way. Talks about he's the quarterback, but it's still Cena's show. I don't know. Making a lot of enemies. He damn right is. Will Punk win the big one before his career's over? I think so. I think so. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to, but I think so. I think Pretty Deadly are the same outside the ring. Salvi, not bad. Not bad at all. He don't want the smoke. Muhammad, Jim says hi, or hi Jim. The final boss can do what he wants. Hey, yo, I will defeat you. Bantu Odyssey. That's hilarious. Seth versus Rock, maybe a possibility. But I think they'll do Roman first. Roman's the priority. Odyssey, we coming for you. Okay, guys, we're gonna end it on a hot note here. I mean, hey, who's picking up? Rock has like 2 to 3 matches left. Yeah, probably 2. One against Cody, one against Roman. That's my call. But on that note, hey, appreciate you guys stopping by in the live stream. Again, it's another Sunday night live stream, but we're here. We're going to move into Monday's live stream. We got the J Area Wrestling Podcast coming out as well Monday afternoon. Keep an eye out for other videos throughout the week, some shorts, some polls, and some community posts as per usual. Appreciate you guys again for joining us on today's live stream. A heated argument before, the end of this one. But real quick, let's take a look at the chat here before we go. Dwayne, you can't even defeat your alcoholism addiction. Like busted in your house like Triple H to Randy. Roman versus Seth, then DA out of nowhere. Good stream. Appreciate you, San Fran. Again, join us Monday. Monday on the live stream. That'll be tomorrow or today, depending where you're at. We pick up on this Final Boss 1. If you smell what the final boss is cooking. We're going to have the rematch tomorrow. Odyssey versus Dwayne, and we'll see how that goes. Again, thank you guys for joining us on the live stream. Appreciate you as always. Everyone have a good night. Have a good morning. Everyone be safe, be healthy. Appreciate you guys. Take care. We'll see you then.